So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, brought to you today by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia. That's where you'll find more than 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player. Again, audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia. So where was I before the commercial? Oh yeah, that's right. Mr. Media is recorded live from the new media capital of the world and hometown of actors Patrick Wilson, Angela Bassett, and Monica Raymond, St. Petersburg, Florida. When last we saw Kat and Patrick on ABC Family's hit comedy series 10 Things I Hate About You, Kat, played by Lindsey Shaw, was protesting the imposition of mandatory uniforms at their high school. And Patrick, played by Ethan Peck, was, well, brooding. Here, listen to this.
I didn't sell out. I'm just thinking big picture. I want to go to a first-rate college so I can get a degree in social policy and change the world. The real world, not high school.
You sound like one of them already.
What the hell?
Nice bag.
Verona, hands it over.
Keep it.
Hold on. Young man, where do you think you're going? You walk out of here, you're suspended. Did you hear what I said? I wish we could thank them.
Hard.
Search this.
Then can I keep it? You said I can keep it.
You have no right to go through this. Cat, come back here.
So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, brought to you today by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia. That's where you'll find more than 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player. Again, audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia. So where was I before the commercial? Oh yeah, that's right. Mr. Media is recorded live from the new media capital of the world and hometown of actors Patrick Wilson, Angela Bassett, and Monica Raymond, St. Petersburg, Florida. When last we saw Kat and Patrick on ABC Family's hit comedy series 10 Things I Hate About You, Kat, played by Lindsey Shaw, was protesting the imposition of mandatory uniforms at their high school. And Patrick, played by Ethan Peck, was, well, brooding. Here, listen to this.
I didn't sell out.
And still the brooding loner. Last year, on the eve of the series' debut, Lindsey and Ethan came to Mr. Media and gave us a preview of the delightful chemistry between them. Now they're back as the stars of a show that the New York Times calls one of TV's best. And I suspect more young people now know their show than know it was once a hit movie. So take that, Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles. Lindsey Shaw and Ethan Peck, welcome back to Mr. Media.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, thanks.
Good, thank you.
Now, not to fear, I'm not going to make you do a list of 10 things that you love about me like last time where I made you do 10 things that you hate about somebody.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is much harder than it sounds.
Well, you know, it's funny. I went back and listened to that this morning, and you guys were so... You took that with such grace. That was so cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
No. So, you know, I was really surprised to read that you were both a little unnerved when the first season ended, and you weren't yet sure if 10 Things would be back. I hope you're both feeling better now.
Oh, I am feeling much better. Thank you. I can't speak for you, but...
Yeah, definitely feeling better. It's actually, it was more of a continuation of the first. We haven't quite yet gotten the second season pickup, but we are very hopeful.
You know, in this business, I mean, first of all, I didn't really know how this show was going to be received. You know, obviously it has a lot stacked against it going into it, and when it was received so well, I was very, very pleasantly surprised, but you never know in this business which way it's going to go. So it was sad to leave, not knowing that I'd for sure be able to come back and do it.
Yeah, it was weird to read that. I mean, I hadn't followed the timing of things, but I mean, the show was very well received. It seemed like you had real strong numbers. The critics, I think, were pretty kind, and yet you still ended those 10 episodes and didn't know.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't tell us.
No, they were probably, who knows what they're doing. They're network
right.
people.
They're so secretive.
And in this economic climate, it's really difficult to predict what will be successful and who is really willing to take risks.
Mm. Well, season 1 ended, and I obviously played that clip, with the two of you riding off, your characters riding, it's so confusing, riding off on Patrick's motorcycle. What's happened between then and the start of season 2? What do the fans need to know?
Absolutely nothing, because it picks up exactly where it left off. We actually pick up right off of the motorcycle ride on the beach, which was so cool to be able to go down and shoot at. And so there's some fun make-out times on the beach.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's basically Kat and Patrick kind of dealing with the consequences of leaving school like that, dealing with her father finding out about this. And so, yeah, we pick back up right where we left off.
Let's go back a moment. I'll get killed if I don't ask. Fun make-out times on the beach.
You can quote me.
And just to be clear, just so everyone knows what we're talking about, that would be making out the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought. And which brings me to something that I need to ask. You guys are each kind of a surrogate for young people everywhere who are interested in the person you're playing against. So, Lindsey, as the surrogate for a lot of young girls who fell in love with Patrick's character and, of course, Ethan, can you tell them, not me because I don't care, but can you tell them what it's like being in his presence and, of course, well, as you put it, making out with him?
What do you mean you don't care, Bob?
It is it is a little overwhelming at first, I have to be honest. He is a powerful presence, no doubt. But Ethan is so cuddly in the middle, it's ridiculous.
What are you talking
and so,
about?
He
You're killing
above
it. You know that.
Above being like so cute and dreamy and charming, he is like makes you feel very comfortable, and he's awesome. He's just awesome, and making out with Ethan is super exciting, something I would definitely consider doing again. And he's got really great soft lips.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. That's a description for the ages right there.
Wow, I just want to sit back and fan myself for a minute. That was
and make out with him. You want to make out?
No, I really no.
I want to make out with me, and geez.
But Ethan, I'm so happy for you. Now, of course, fair is fair. I have to turn the tables and ask you really the same thing about Lindsey.
Well, I'm kind of a nervous guy, and as Ethan, I'm quite shy, and so I'm sure she was able to enjoy it more than I because I'm quite self-conscious. But we have gotten very comfortable with each other, and she smells good. And
so what you're saying is you were uncomfortable.
That is not true.
I think that's what we can surmise from this answer.
What I'm saying is you're so wonderful, and you drew me out of myself, and you were there for me.
And I smell good. Thanks, you.
And you're wonderful.
Oh.
That's actually what I heard him saying, Lindsey. I maybe I get the guy talk a little better, but yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, nice.
Thank
okay,
you,
all right.
Bob.
All right. I'll chalk that up to a misunderstanding.
I think any guy listening to that, looking at Lindsey, is thinking, I get exactly what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get too detailed, but I mean, what do they say? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, something like that, right?
I think you said that with every ounce of that Peck family charm that generations of TV and film goers have known for some time. I think you handled that very well.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, Lindsey, what's been the highlight? Maybe I already discussed. Maybe you already told me. But what's the highlight for your character in season 2? What does she have to look forward to?
The highlight for her, I think, is it's just softening up a little bit. She was a little self-righteous in the first 10. I mean, she's got her principles, and that's very just and whatnot. But you know, what I love about this show is that the two sisters are such polar opposites, obviously, but a good balance of both of what they have is what life is about. So I think she just, I don't know, maybe tries to take Bianca's perspective on things a little bit and just let people in and soften up a little bit. I mean, she still reverts at times, but I think she's becoming softer, and she's showing Patrick more, and she's showing her sister more, and her relationship with her father is just deepening, and it's good for her. She's evolved nicely, I think. I hope.
And Ethan, what is it that draws Patrick to Kat? Because they seem like polar opposites, and I know that's part of the attraction. But what is it? You know, what does he see in her?
I believe that Patrick sees a very strong-willed person who has very clear intentions and ideas, and she fights for them very fiercely, I must say. She's very incredibly smart, as Lindsey is, very incredibly sassy, as Lindsey is, and I think he just sees sort of this wild, wonderful animal in her, and that's really what he's all about.
Hmm. And Patrick, if people thought that your character was quiet, and I'm kind of hear again that you feel kind of quiet and you're not, I read where Lindsey said that the two of you didn't have an in-depth conversation off screen until episode 7 was shot, and then I thought about it a little more in listening to the last time we spoke. You finished shooting episode 7 the night before we had the last interview. So I'm just kind of wondering. I mean, is this just who you are personally? That you're just a quiet, you're not the life of the party kind of guy, and it just takes people a while to get to know you? And
I guess that's possible. I'm still sort of figuring out who I am. Growing up is this weird thing that we all have to do or should do. And maybe I was a little uncomfortable with myself and didn't quite know what to say, and I feel much more comfortable now, and so we talk much more often, right?
Absolutely, and I don't think that it says anything that we didn't have an in-depth conversation until then. I mean, it wasn't like it felt awkward or we were avoiding each other, or I mean, it was nothing like that. I just think episode 7 is really where our characters connected, and as such, that's when we kind of opened up to each other. I mean, it really just goes hand in hand.
Yeah, there were a lot of parallels between Lindsey and myself, our relationship, compared to Patrick and Kat's relationship. I guess also I wasn't quite sure, what the right thing to do was professionally. I sort of kept my distance because the chemistry on camera was sort of intense and invigorating, and didn't really know what to do with myself.
Got it. All right, well, before they cut us off, folks, new episodes of ABC Family's 10 Things I Hate About You air Mondays at 8 p.m., and you can watch episodes you missed from first season and then soon second season at www.abcfamily.com. You can also order the DVD from the first season on MrMedia.com. You guys continue to be great guests. I can tell you're having a good time, and thanks again for coming back to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob. Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right. Best of luck to both of you, and take care.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And for more interviews with your favorite TV and film stars, you can surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with Kirk Douglas, who probably knew Ethan's father, or grandfather, I should say. Also Billy Bob Thornton, Ted Ramey, Nathan Fillion, Christian Slater, Alicia Cuthbert, Ali Sheedy, and many more. And please take advantage of this great offer for Mr. Media radio listeners. Go to www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia to get a free audiobook download of your choice when you sign up today. Again, that's www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia for your free audiobook. And subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman or facebook.com/Andelman. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always appreciate when you give up a little piece of your day and spend it with us. Thanks for listening, everybody.